EDgun Leshiy presents Huntin' Tree Chickens. Before we get started, let's establish a little understanding. Every hardware store, grocery store, and pharmacy across the world has a pest control section. You'll find the shelves full of different poisons and traps to aid in the removal of these critters. Thus, it's a common understanding that pest control is a required practice. But, for a small vocal bunch, it's out of sight, out of mind. These folks prefer methods where their hands don't get dirty, but ironically, these methods cause quite a bit of suffering and has a dangerous impact on the food chain, including vegans. But since it happens behind walls and bushes, it's acceptable. In this video, we're going to explore an alternative, air guns, and specifically shot placement for a humane dispatch of pests damaging your property or crops. Using different camera angles from the Tacticam cameras and film speed, I'll be able to demonstrate the effectiveness of a modern-day air gun like the EDgun Leshiy, Layla, R5M, and the Velez. All footage is through the combination of the ATN Excite 4K Pro, the Thor 4 Thermal, and the Tacticam FTS and cameras. Some of this footage might cross the lines of YouTube's ever-changing guidelines, so to be safe, I'll edit those sections out. If you're interested in learning the true effectiveness of my methods, which sometimes require some graphic content, I've created a free program out on my website called Club Leshiy, where you can go and get the full detail for educational purposes. So I'll leave more information about that in the description. So that behind us, let's get into this video. Alright, we're going to check out 12 or so squirrels get greased here. Let me know in the comments which one you like best. At this point, tannerite might be the best solution. No matter what I do, more and more squirrels move in. It's like an angry army of moochers with blatant disregard for my personal property. They have their paws out looking for a free meal from the songbird feeders. That thing runs dry and they start to eat my roof in protest. The population seemed to have exploded again this year. So, we're going to do what we do best, fight back. Grab some popcorn, your favorite beverage, sit back. With the help of these Tacticam cameras, we're going to go on a multi-angle, slow-motion, pest-whacking mission. Well, as far as YouTube will allow us, that is. Tree Burger number 1 presented a quartering shot. With this flat trajectory, I prefer a headshot just inside the eye. I get a lot of these, and sometimes they can get a little eye juice. This one did not. Just a clean entry and instant death. This one was taken with the EDgun Layla 2. I got it equipped with the new bat moderator. It looks the exact same, it's just bigger. And man, oh man, this thing is whisper quiet. Even running it, super hot. I knocked back the population of the chipmunks earlier this spring pretty good, but I'm starting to see more and more of them. These little bastards are so destructive. So, time to empty some heads with 34 grains of lead. When they're crouched down like this, the perfect shot placement is right in the middle of the head. This is going to empty the brain and then sever their spinal cord. It's an instant kill and zero flopping because of that spinal cord being cut, which you're going to see from this side angle. You can see the lights go out right here. Now, if you're a snowflake and watching this, that is humane. The poison that you knowingly walk past and put out every day, no, that's not. Here's another crouch down, and I take the exact same shot as the previous one, right above the eye line in the middle of the head. Having an accurate air gun like the Leshiy or Layla in this particular case, especially in that low power tune, is critical. So this is a 34 grain going about 550 feet per second. So I'm going to show you a close-up here. It's a clean entry, so no blood or eye juice squirting, but the energy transfer right there that you just saw in slow motion is just crazy, and it just shows the effectiveness of these low power tunes. ATN actually sent over this discontinued spotting scope for me to play with. It's a 20 by 80x, and at base magnification, here's the cool part, it films at a full 1080p. So I'll throw a link in the description, as I think they still have a few of these left at like really steep discounts. Some of the stuff was like 500 bucks off. So anyways, go check that out if you guys are in the market. This angle is ear hole city. That's always a path of least resistance to the brain, and it's a great point of impact for smaller calibers too, that don't have that punch like a 2.5 or bigger to get through bone. Here's another that I'm using, the ATN spotting scope. It's a pretty badass tool, but I got it thinking about like a traveling bully vision, to be honest with you. This thing is definitely not YouTube approved. So the footage is super up close and personal, and sometimes I'm gonna have to pull that back and just show this stuff over on Club Leshiy. Sorry about this. I think I can show this from far away over on the left, but the one on the right I definitely need to cover up. I pulled this shot a bit, but it ended up right at the front of the eye, and this one got messy. Definitely not an up-close camera shot, especially on YouTube. This side shot though, the angle just shows how devastating it was. The exit wound actually had part of its spine sticking out, so it was a painless dispatch for sure. My neighbor actually took a few of these from this day for some research and testing her agency was doing on the health of this exploding population. It's crazy. Some days it feels like I'm living in Jurassic Park. Here's another angle showing its body being separated from its soul. Oofta. This next one I got lucky, as it's clearly severing just the spine here right through the neck. I got the 3x14 4K back from ATN, and now that I have a second, because EDgun West had sent me his 5 to 20x one, I started to mess around with the tunes a bit on both the Leshiy and the Layla. So in doing so, I got a little lost with holdovers, but as you can see, it worked out fine. For me at least. The squirrel got screwed. This guy, I'm going back to the ear hole. You're typically going to get a decent amount of pass through, as there really is just soft tissue that you're going through when you shoot this way. So be mindful of that. With an 8-inch thick table for one right behind it, I was all good. This guy got to hear the whispering from the JSB 34 grain pellet as it passed clean through. It was instant lights out, but occasionally their reflexes, they got these really sharp claws, will kind of dig into soft wood like this, and they'll hang on for a second. Usually just takes a second, and then boop, on the ground. Let's transition into a little ratting. For this, I have the Layla with the ATN X-Sight 4K Pro in 5x20. It's shooting like 38 foot-pounds for raccoons, so these things just get absolutely destroyed. I also have the Bully Vision camera set up as well. I moved upstairs and pulled out the Velez pistol, the unicorn of air guns. In my opinion, this thing is unreal. They just don't make them anymore, so don't even bother. But on top of that, I got the ATN Thor 4. So I'll flip through a few color options here that you're seeing. As a pest control tool though, this thing, it just literally can't be beat. Nothing can hide. I could pick these guys off in the old lady bushes where they're generally safe for normal night vision. I'm pretty sure I saw a few of the Thor 4s on the ATN End of Summer Sales page now I think about it. So go check the description for that. It'll be the same link. So while thermal is expensive, it's an amazing tool and it's perfectly suited for backyard pest whacking. I shoot the JSB Hades in 22 out of the Velez, and that thing, man, it is just devastating. You can see it did a number on this guy. With the EDgun dinner bell going off like that, my backyard janitor is never too far away. Possums are disgusting creatures, but they eat anything, and everything for that matter. And they do a really great job of cleaning up. When the population gets out of whack though, the EDgun R5M is set up and ready to thin the herd. These guys are like shooting a dinosaur, so I got that thing tuned hot. To the dismay of some of you, I'm sure, this guy doesn't get popped, so he lives to clean up another day. Man, that was an intense session. So let's transition to a little fan footage. This segment is going to highlight a cool channel I came across called Air Rifle Activities. I'll have a link to his channel in the description, but Alex uses his EDgun R5M and Layla 2.0, both in 2.5, to help the local farmers with their pigeon infestation. He's shooting anywhere from 30 to 100 yards, so some great longer range shots for you guys to enjoy. I mean, watch for educational purposes. In all seriousness, though, you can see how effective an air gun is. Pigeons present a major problem to these farmers by eating their animal feed and spreading disease. Eventually, this trickles down to everybody. Even if you eat like a rabbit, right, and just nibble on plants. This one's crazy. It just stoned him. This is a great shot by Alex right here. This is a moving target, and he just absolutely pins this right between the shoulder blades. Another thing that pigeons do is they crap all over the farm equipment too. So these guys aren't immune to it either, and you know how we like to clean things over here on the EDgun Leshiy channel. So let's do that. See you guys on the next one.